For section 8.1, we need to find the perimeter of each figure. Perimeter is just the sum of the sides. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to find all the answers here. Number 1, a rectangle with length 8 and width 2.5. You're going to have two lengths that are 8, two lengths that are 2.5. If you add them all together, you should get 21 centimeters. Number 2, an equilateral triangle whose one side is 15. If it's equilateral, if one side is 15, all three sides are 15, which is going to give you 45 inches for the perimeter. Number 3, a square, 1/4 of a yard on each side. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 1 yard. Number 4, a regular hexagon with one side equal to 16. Hexagon has 6 sides. If they're all 16, 6 times 16 equals 96 millimeters. Number 5, a parallelogram with one side of length 12 and the adjacent side half as long. If one side is 12, that means it has an opposite side that is also 12. And then the other sides are half as long, which is 6. So I have 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6, which adds up to 36. A regular octagon with side y plus 7. That means I have 8 sides, each y plus 7. You distribute, and you get 8y plus 56 as your answer there. Number 7 works the same way. I have a pentagon, equilateral pentagon, 5 sides. Each one is 4a plus 13. We distribute, and we get 20a plus 4 times 13, 5 times 13 is going to give you an answer of 65. 20a plus 65. For number 12, we skipped 8, 9, 10, and 11. The perimeter of a rhombus is 34. What is the length of a side? If it's a rhombus, it has 4 equal sides to add up to 34. So we simply divide 34 by 4 to figure out the length of one side. 34 divided by 4 will give us a length of 8.5 millimeters. Number 13, the longer sides of a rectangle are 3 times as long as the shorter. I'll draw this rectangle real small here in the space I have. We always call the shorter sides x. The other sides are 3 times as long, so they are 3x. X plus 3x plus 3x gives me a total of 8x, and it tells you that equals 100. If 8x equals 100, I have to divide by 8. 100 divided by 8 is 12.5, meaning the sides that are x have a length of 12.5, and the other sides are 3 times as long. 3 times 12.5 gives us a length of 37.5. And if you do add 12.5, 12.5, 37.5, and 37.5, you will get 100. I'm going to slide this up now so we can take a look at the rest of this page. There's only a couple more problems on it. For number 5 here, for lesson 8.2, the area of a rectangle is 99. One dimension is 22. What is the other? Well, for number 5, I'm going to draw this rectangle right here. If one side is 22, we want to know the other.
You're going to donuts tomorrow.
So 22 times x equals 99, because length times width equals the area. 22 times x equals 99. When I do 99 divided by 22, I get x equals 4.5. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way now. Sorry, the answer there was 4.5. For number 6, the area of a square is 324 square centimeters. What's the length of a side? This is number 6. For the area of a square, area equals s squared because length and width are the same. If the area is 324, that equals s squared, and we square root 324 to get our answer. Square root of 324 is 18. Finally, for number 7, the length of a rectangle is 3 times its width. Its area is 108. Here's our rectangle. Smaller side is x. That means the longer is 3x. To get the area here, 3x length times width is 3x times x equals 108. That gives us 3x squared equals 108. So we have to divide by 3. 108 divided by 3 is 36. And then square root 36. Slide this down a minute. divide by 3, we get x squared equals 36, and then we square root to get x all alone. The square root of 36 is 6, so that is your answer for number 7. For number 14, we have a room measures 15 by 21 feet, and we want to find its square footage. However, we're going to cover it with tiles that are 9 inches on the side. So here's the process with number 14. Since the square tiles are 9 inches, we need to convert 15 feet and 21 feet into inches. There's 12 inches in a foot, so I do 15 times 12 to get 180 inches for one dimension, and 21 times 12 to get 252 for my other dimension. Now, if I multiply these, I will get the area in square inches of my room. 180 times 252 tells me my total room is 45,360 square inches. I need to divide that by the square inches of each tile. Each tile is a 9-inch square, so 9 times 9 tells me each tile covers 81 square inches. If I take 45,360 and I divide it by 81, that tells me I need 560 tiles. Part B tells us what will be the total cost. If each tile is 79 cents, I simply do 560 times 79 cents, and that tells me it's going to cost me $442.40. For 15, rolls of sod measure 18 inches by 6 feet. How many rolls will be needed for a football field that's 53 1/3 yards by 120 yards? This problem is going to be too complicated to do on this iPad, so I'm going to skip 15 and 16 for now. We can go over them in class on Monday. Moving on, down to lesson 8.4. This is the lesson about areas of a triangle. Remember, area of a triangle, which is going to be the case for this entire lesson, is 1/2 base times height. Base and height for a right triangle in number 1, the base and the height are the legs, so it's 1/2 4 times 3, which is going to give me 6 units squared as my area there. For number 2, my base is going to be the length of AC. If AD is 9 and DC is 2.5, I have a base of 11.5. I add them together. DB is going to be my height, which is 5. So for number 2, I'm going to do 1/2 times the base, which is 11.5, times the height, which is 2.5. Oh, I am mistaken. The height is not given. No, sorry, it is given. dB is the height, and it's 5. So in my calculator, 0.5 times 11.5 times 5 gives me 28.75 as my area of this triangle. In order to do number 3, we have to first solve for x. We do want the area of triangle ABC, but first we have to solve for x. So we're going to consider triangle ACD because we know its area. For triangle ACD, area is 60. That equals 1/2 its base times height. The base of ACD is going to be 5x, and the height is 12. Move this aside a little bit. The height is 12. So, working backwards, solving for x here, 1/2 times 5 times 12 is 30, so I end up with 60 equals 30x. Divide by 30, x equals 2. We can now plug that in. I want to know just the area of triangle ABC, which it says right here. I want the area of ABC. For triangle ABC, 1/2, the base is just x for ABC. We know x is 2, so 1/2 times 2. And the height is 12. 1/2, 2 times 12 gives us an area of 12 meters squared for number 3. Very complicated question there. For number 7, we have to actually plot our triangle. It gives us the vertices. -3, 3, 2, 7, and 5, 3. So we plot those points and make our triangle. Draw the triangle, done, part A. Part B, I'm going to switch colors here. For part B, we need the base and the height. 1/2 times the base. The base goes from right here, which is at -3 x value, over here, which has an x value of 5. meaning the length of the base is 8, because it is 8 units from -3 to 5. The height goes from the vertex, which is up 7, down to the base, which has a y value of 3. The difference between 7 and 3 is clearly 4. So 1/2 8 times 4 is 16, being our area of the triangle. Are you? I've done a lot of work on this page without recording. I'll just show you the answers real quick, and you can work them out. X squared, 1,176, 513. 11 gives you 35 units squared. Down here in lesson 8.6, number 1 is 5. Number 2 is 9/7. And we're going to get to number 3 right now. For number 3, you're not going to be able to get a nice whole answer. X squared plus y squared equals the missing side. We'll call it c squared. Because you can't solve for x and y, you're just going to be able to square root, and your final answer here will be the square root of x squared plus y squared, and that's all you can do. For the final page, we just want to know if these lengths can be the possible sides of a right triangle. In order to check that, we just plug them into the the Pythagorean theorem. 60 squared plus 80 squared, does it equal 100 squared? Keep in mind, the largest side must be the hypotenuse. So, using my calculator, 60 squared is 3,600. 80 squared is 6,400. 100 squared is 10,000. Does 3,600 plus 6,400 equal 10,000? Yes. So therefore, yes, they can be the sides of a right triangle. Finally, the last one, find the perimeter and the area of a right triangle. Right triangle, I'll use a different color here. Right triangle that has a hypotenuse of 10 and one side is 6. Well, to get the perimeter and the area, we need to solve for this missing side, which I just labeled x. Since it's a leg and not a hypotenuse, we need to do x squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. X squared plus 36 equals 100. I'm going to slide this down. We're going to subtract 36. X squared equals 64, and then square root to get x all alone. X equals 8. So now we know the missing side, which I'm going to go and write right over top of it. Missing side is 8. In order to get the perimeter, we simply add them up. 8 plus 10 plus 6 gives us a perimeter of 24. And to find the area, we do 1/2 base times height. 1/2 base times height. 6 times 8 is 48. Times 1/2 gives us an area of 24 as well. And we're done.